In this video, we're going to be talking about what stroke and fill are in Illustrator, which is really the way that we color and create our beautiful designs within this program. I'm going to start by going over to my tool panel and grabbing the rectangle tool and creating a simple rectangle. And I'm also going to create a simple ellipse. Go back to my standard selection tool, select each one. So by default, these have an appearance on the right-hand side in the Properties panel. They have a fill of white and a stroke of black. We can also see this down here in the bottom left-hand corner. If yours doesn't look like mine, go ahead and hit D on your keyboard, which will switch it back to white fill and black stroke. So these fill and stroke determine how our shape is colored. I'm just going to move it onto this background so you can see a little bit more clearly. The stroke is the line that surrounds our object, and the fill is the interior of our object. So just to pull it back in here, if I click this little color swatch right here on fill and grab a different color, it's going to change what the interior of our shape looks like. If I click the stroke swatch and change that, that's a subtle change. You can see the shift in the stroke color. Each of these have a lot of options and are really kind of the foundations of building shapes and illustrations inside of Illustrator. Let's go ahead and click this fill button and explore some of these options. So there's lots of different colors in here. If we want a full color palette, we just need to click the color mixer over here, where we can actually choose a variety of different colors from the spectrum. Back here, there's also some gradients. We'll get into how to use those later. Some designs. These are really fun. But we're just going to use a solid color for now. Down here, we have some swatches that have been saved. And we can import more swatches very easily. And I'll show you how to do that in just a little. And I'll show you how to do that now. If we click down here, there's a lot of preset swatches, such as different art history swatches. Let's pick pop art. And it brings in a bunch of colors that are reminiscent of pop art. If I click that little swatches button again, I can find all sorts of different ones in here. Foods, let's do ice cream. So these are colors that are used in ice cream. These can be really helpful themes to get you started with your color palette choosing. Next to this swatches button, we have the color themes panel, and I'm going to be using this extensively in this class. I just clicked it, and it might take a bit to open on yours because it has to load the Adobe Color website. I'm going to go ahead and dock this down here. I'm going to go ahead and dock this right here. So if you've watched my office hours, you've seen me work with this software quite a bit. This is called Adobe Color, and this allows you to create some really awesome palettes really simply, and they just started integrating this directly into the software. So notice as I'm clicking and moving these around, it's already building these really awesome palettes. There's different settings for the theme. For instance, we can choose monochromatic, and then as we choose a color, it'll only pick other colors within that monochromatic spectrum. We could choose triad, complementary, and just notice as I click and drag these colors around, it's finding the complements to those colors. I'm going to go back to analogous, which is the basic starting one. Kind of build my own palette here. And whenever we're ready to go, I just need to select which color I want and say set to active color, and it will set it to our fill. We can even save our color theme, and it will save it to our library. Go ahead and quit out of this. So that's how fill works. Let's talk about stroke. So stroke is the line on the outside of our shape, and whenever we do lines within Illustrator, it will be the color of the line itself. Stroke has a weight right here. So this is a 1-point stroke, 2-point, 3-point, etc. So that makes it heavier. I'm going to go ahead and make it pretty heavy right now just to show you. So 10 points. And what this means, by default, the stroke is on the vector path. So we have this line right here. You can see that thin red line. That's the vector path. And it will add 5 points of stroke to this side and 5 points of stroke to this side for a total of 10 points. If I click the stroke button, I can change all different types of settings with my stroke. So for example, I can change how it's aligned, this align stroke. So right now it's aligned on the center. If I click this, it will add those points of stroke to the interior of that line. If I do this, it will add them to the exterior of that line. So as I just mentioned before, we were aligned to the center before, and now we can choose how that stroke works. There's also how the corners of the stroke will work. Let's go ahead and scroll up to view a corner. So right now, if I click my stroke again, I can access that. We are using what's called a Mitre Corner. And a Mitre Corner is just a straight corner that you would see on like a painting. There's also a round join. And then finally, there's a bevel join, which kind of lobs off the corner. Then we have a cap. We're not going to see the cap here. We'll see that on regular lines. I'll show you that very quickly. So if I draw a typical line segment, the cap is how the line segment ends. So if I want to make a rounded line, if I want to make a flat line that comes out past the end of our vector, or if I want to end the line on the vector, we can change that there. We can add arrowheads. We can also make the line have a different profile. This is a really great way to give it an appearance of a sketch. So for instance, I could have the line sort of shift weight over time, and we'll talk more about how to modify that later. We can also make the line dashed. So we can make a dotted line. We can make all different types of lines using the stroke tools. So remember, stroke has a weight, and it has an alignment, corners, and caps.